Whether you're printing 50 or 50,000, you want the perfect brochure. And a big part of that is getting the paper right. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to choose the perfect paper for your brochure. Let's get started. Hi, I'm Ryan. And print marketing is really unique amongst marketing methods because it has a tactile element. What other marketing medium allows people to physically touch your brand? Taking advantage of this tactile dimension is the key to getting the best out of your design and really making an impact with your brochure. Research shows a direct connection between emotions and sensory stimulation. And a brochure doesn't accomplish this just through the visual senses. We're able to help create emotion through the physical senses as well, like touch. This is why we encourage you to think beyond just the look of your design and also consider the feel. If you're looking for a shortcut, 100-pound silk text is going to be a good choice most of the time, but there are so many more choices. Let's dig in. When choosing paper, weight is probably the first thing you want to consider because it has the biggest impact on the way that the brochure feels. When you're thinking about the weight, there's 3 things to consider. 1 is cost, 2 is experience, and 3 is purpose. Now let's start with the easiest one, and it's cost. Paper is sold by weight, so the heavier your paper, the more expensive it's going to be. So if you're looking for the absolute lowest price, go with the lowest paper weight you can get. The second is experience, and the experience of a printed piece is impacted a lot by the weight of the paper. If it's too thin, then it's going to feel flimsy, and that doesn't reflect good on your brand. But if it's too thick, then it's a pain in the butt to read, and it's just no fun for anybody. So finding a happy medium is a really good idea. And with purpose. If you're at a meeting or something like that, or if you're going into someone's office and dropping off a brochure, a lighter weight is probably fine. That 100-pound text perfect medium that we described is going to be a great choice for that. Conversely, if you're going to a trade show or some sort of big event, heavier weight might actually be a better choice. That way, when it gets crammed into the backpack, and then people come home, and then on Monday they get back to work and they're dumping all the stuff out on their desk, you don't want your brochure to be a crumpled up mess. You want it to have nice structure. You want it to feel well composed even after that long journey, so that your brand is still represented well and the information that's communicated is still read and it's absorbed and it's consumed in all those ways that you want it to be without it being a crumpled up mess. The way we measure paper weights in the United States can be confusing. The way it works is you take a type of paper, and that type of paper has an arbitrary basic size, and you weigh 500 sheets. And that gives you the weight. Sounds simple on the surface, but a text weight paper has a different arbitrary basic size than a cover weight paper. So that means that 80-pound text and 80-pound cover are entirely different papers. So how do you get to the bottom of which paperweight to choose for your brochure? Here's some ideas. 80-pound text is typically the lightest weight that we will recommend for a brochure. It's a good economy option, and it will save you a few dollars versus the 100-pound text, which is our most recommended. With a lower quantity, you're probably not going to see that big of a difference in price though, so you might as well just go for the better option, which is the 100-pound text. This one has a little bit of structure to it, it feels quality, but it's still easy to read, it's easy to thumb through, and that's what we really like about it. The third one is the 80-pound cover. This is your choice for trade shows because it has the structure that's required to stand up to a little bit of abuse, and it's still gonna look nice when they pull it out of their bag when they get home. Once you have the weight figured out, it's time to start thinking about whether or not you want a coating on your paper and what that coating should look like. There's lots and lots of different coatings, but they generally fall into 3 different categories. One is a glossy coating, one is a matte coating, and one is uncoated, so lack of coating. Let's start with the gloss coating. Now, a gloss coating is going to be really good for pop. And what that means is it's glossy, it's reflective, the ink is going to sit right on top of the sheet, and it's going to catch people's eyes. It is phenomenal for pictures where you want to really show off what your product looks like, but it's not so good if you have a lot of text because with all of that gloss comes a lot of glare. So if you want people to be able to read what's in your brochure really easily, it might not be the best choice. Uncoated papers, as the name implies, have no coating on them whatsoever, so they're really the opposite of the coated sheets. They have a really unique texture, and they're really popular in certain circumstances where someone wants something that is going to stand out and be different. Because they don't have the coating on them at all, they're not the best for photographic reproduction, but they're really great for things that are text heavy and things where you want a more organic look. Straddling the middle between these two is the matte paper. And matte borrows some of the gloss, not all of it, from the coated sheets, and some of the readability from the uncoated sheets. So you still get a little bit of that pop, you still get bold, vivid colors, but you can also read the text really easily. And that's why it's our #1 pick for brochures. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that matte papers go by lots of different names. There are technical differences between the two, but you might see matte, you might see dole, you might see silk, and you might see velvet. Again, there are differences, but we're lumping them into one category for the sake of making it easier to understand. And really, when it comes down to it, the finished product is going to be really similar. Now, most papers are white, and they come with a standard smooth finish, which is just like this sheet right here. And this is great for most projects, but sometimes you want something that's a little bit different because we all want to differentiate our brands, right? So how do you do that? You have to think beyond the standard papers that you might be used to seeing. Colored papers are really popular, especially mixed with white ink. You can print a white ink on a darker paper and get a really, really unique look and feel that's different than what people are used to seeing on a daily basis. If your brand is a little bit more conservative, you're not out of luck. A lot of professional services companies use an off-white color just to make it a little bit more interesting. Pearlescent papers are also available and add a really interesting visual aesthetic. Another way to add a little bit of intrigue to your project is to use a paper with a special texture. Wove, felt, and linen papers are really popular with brochures, and people really like the tactile dimension that they add. That's it, 3 steps: weight, coating, and finish. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to get in touch. Our team of experts are happy to help you out with your project. Thanks for watching our video. We're looking forward to working with you.